Welcome back. If you're new here, I'm Evie, owner and creative director of Evielutions Design, where I help businesses with web design, graphic, and printing. So today we're going to talk about some 2020 web design trends that you should definitely ditch. So at the intersection of art and technology, web design presents an exciting new range of opportunities for creatives to showcase ideas, play with different effects, and turn concepts into interactive experiences. And so web design is constantly evolving and playing with new trends, but not all web design trends are a good idea. And so today we're going to talk about the web design trends that need to stay behind in 2020. So as usual, let's jump right into it. The first trend, web browser push notifications. And so advertising is becoming more intrusive and obnoxious, but it doesn't have to be that way. In fact, most people really don't hate ads, just the bad ones. And so one study concluded that I think about over 75% of people would like to have ad filters instead of ad blocks. Unfortunately, push notifications perfectly embody both the intrusive and obnoxious elements that people hate. And the constant interruptions lead to consumers feeling overwhelmed and harassed by bad, lazy advertising. So in turn, this leads consumers to resent your website and leave, which does not drive sales. Another study showed that over 80% of people think worse of a website that allows these intrusive ads. While there are exceptions to the rule, like notifications about finances and weather, or like email notifications, the data seems to show that push notifications are more effective at pushing audience away. The next trend is pop-up advertisements. Same thing here, intrusive and persistent. Pop-up ads should have been left back in 2020, and yet this trend seemingly cannot die for some reason. And pop-up ads are criticized because they interrupt the user's experience, which makes them effective at forcing the user to pay attention to it, but without usually positive results. And then pop-up ads, they have an impressive, I think it was like maybe 73% disapproval rating. And even Google penalizes advertisers for using them. So over 80% of people have closed a web page because of a pop-up. And what is worse is when the exit button for that pop-up is difficult to close, or if it even exists at all. So just think about how many times have you hit the X button only to still be dragged, perhaps kicking and screaming, to another page. It's very annoying. And this goes for either you're being asked to subscribe to endless emails, or be forced to click no, I don't like sunshine and world peace. There are alternative effective ways to convert a visitor into a real customer, and irritating them before you even get the chance is definitely not the way to do it. The next thing is too much animation. So animations are good in moderation, and when used effectively, they can bring a static, boring website to life. In fact, it can even be essential to increasing user interaction with your website. But like any tool, it is important to be mindful about the quality and quantity of the animation on your website. Unfortunately, animations are often overused, which contributes to a negative user experience. Animations that are too lengthy or too large and slow down your website. Um, there's also ones that are just too fast or flashy. Think about strobe lights. This is definitely a no-no. Can definitely be distracting and contribute to sensory overload, which may make your audience bounce from your website. Animation is too frequent or seemingly without purpose can also be confusing and contribute to a poor user experience, all of which reflect on your brand and business. Next, we have Parallax. Even if you don't know the term, you definitely have seen this on a website. It basically refers to the effect of having a background image, and I'm going to give you guys an example here, but a background image moving at a different speed from the rest of the content on that page to create an illusion of depth on the website. And so when done correctly, Parallax is a beautiful design element. However, when done incorrectly, it can make the user experience disorienting and even inhibit functionality. But when used sparsely, it can be done so beautifully. And unfortunately, when it was introduced about a decade ago, it exploded in popularity. And as a result, it seemed that every website felt that it was necessary to have this feature. And like every trend that becomes too popular, it begins to deteriorate, whether in quality or simply due to oversaturation. So my suggestion is just try to keep it to at least one per page. I've seen pages that have 3 and 4, and it's a very overwhelming feature. Our next one is anything that hinders accessibility and inclusion. This one almost feels like cheating, but truly, in 2021, we can do better when it comes to web design. Not only is accessibility crucial to the user experience, but it is a no-brainer. Good design means that your content is accessible to everyone. So consider integrating alternative ways to navigate through your website. So like if you're having a horizontal scroll is important to your website, that's fine, but you want to allow users other options to navigate, like buttons and things like that. And so if there's content that begins automatically, like a video, you want to provide options that allow the user to easily control that content. And so this means considering how your website functions across multiple platforms, both your desktop and your mobile, which is so critical. And are these interactive elements easy to identify? You want to ask yourself, what about the navigation options? Is spacing appropriate? This also means considering your site reads to diverse audiences. So, are your complex design elements inhibiting the experience of those who are like visually impaired or have physical disabilities? Are you certain that web design features making your content less accessible to those individuals who struggle with like computer literacy? You want to also ask yourself, is your content potentially triggering sensory overload or even seizures in your audience? So, like we mentioned before, not overdoing everything is really important. And if your design elements are not for everyone, then you should not be, it basically shouldn't be integrated in your website. You really want to put a stop on that. What web design trends are you tired of? Comment below to share, some of the trends that you are just over, as far as seeing, which ones you're sick of. Even better, how about share which design trends you would like to see more of? All right, so that's it for this week. Tune in every Monday and have an awesome week, guys. Bye.